Welcome to the Canadian High School Ultimate Championships. Just taking the field for the bronze medal game right now. My name is Andrew Portwine. Glad to have you back for the afternoon games. We have St. John's Ravenscourt School from Winnipeg, Manitoba in their whites and greens, playing against Westwood Warriors, also from Winnipeg, Manitoba, wearing their purple jerseys. If you tuned in this morning, you already saw Westwood play a game. Know what to expect from them. So not only a bronze medal on the line, perhaps a little bit of bragging rights when they go home, talking city championships and some wins over their common opponents here. So for those that watched this morning, you were lucky. The wind had died down a little bit. It is now picked up for the afternoon games, but it is a bit warmer and we have some sunshine. Got to pick and choose our trade-offs. Both teams are on the line. Coaches had a chat with them for a few minutes pre-game. I'm sure many of these players know each other from playing against each other back home, both through school and their club teams. So it should be a pretty good battle. Westwood has the disc for the opening pull. Get the game underway. Nice low driving pull right through the Westwood bench. Not sure what they said to that handler or the puller just before he went on the field. Maybe he didn't care for what they said. So St. John's is going to get some good starting position just around half field. So Westwood playing man defense. It's an adjustment they've made from the first game that they played this morning. St. John's looking for the deep strike right off the hop. Just sailed out of play. That disc continues to roll. We'd be well served to have a stack of 2 or 3 spare discs field side. Be able to get play initiated a little quicker. So as always, Twitter is active, at @aportwine, if you'd like to have a question, submit a comment. I know we had some viewers from Manitoba this morning tuning in for the Westwood game, so with a couple of Manitoba teams battling here, I'm sure we'll get a lot more viewers from the Midwest. So Westwood bringing the disc back on about the 6-yard line. They're going directly into the wind right now. Beautiful throw into the wind. Centers the disc, good cut. The Westwood ladies look like they're picking up where they left off this morning. Dominant in cuts and open in the midfield almost every time. Westwood starting this game with some steady handle play. Again this morning, if you were watching the first quarter, first half of the game, they were looking for the big plays before they adjusted their strategy to the shorter handler-oriented game. You can see here they're having more patience. They're coming out. The handlers are swinging the disc, waiting for that opportunity. Big fake from the handler. Through the cup, just out of the reach of the layout. So St. John's with the disc. Good use of fakes from the handler. An unfortunate drop there. Squirts right through the legs of the receiver. So St. John's smartly playing a zone with Westwood going upwind. Another fairly strong throw from that handler. Stayed pretty flat, coming right through the cup and directly into the wind. If he keeps that up, he'll have pretty good success throughout the game. So St. John's swings to the far sideline. Throw sails a little just out of the reach of the receiver. Both teams gauging this wind, having a little trouble getting their offense started. So you'll see Westwood is making use of a number of people touching the disc. I think 5 out of their 7 players have already touched the disc on some of these swings and shorter passes. St. John's, on the other hand, I think has had 2 people touch the disc. They rely on one primary handle to pick up almost every disc in the backfield. Trust his judgment to initiate play and get the flow of the game going. So Westwood with a lot of touches, but not able to gain any yards. There's a great throw through the cup. A low throw. They were on the move. So we have St. John's on the offense. Moving upfield. Some pretty open cuts over the middle of the field. Nice swing, good one-hand retrieval on that high floaty swing pass. St. John's now playing the shorter pass game, looking for the swings. That throw just out the sideline. Wind just wouldn't let that curve back into play for the receiver. So disc is in play. Bear with us for one moment. We're just having some camera difficulties. If anybody saw my earlier tweet, you know that our camera's on a makeshift setup. So St. John's looking for the end zone. Disc just out of play. So St. John's has a little support here on Twitter. We have Matt. He's watching from Winnipeg. He's sending his support for the Eagles. Pulling for St. John's. So Westwood moving the disc. Patient with their swings. Just missed the target there. Looked like the disc stuck on the finger a little longer than the handler had hoped for. Didn't quite come out cleanly. So nice cuts from the handler there. Well done. He had the upline cut. Unfortunately, the in cut was coming in at the same time, so he had to go back to a triple move to get open. So St. John's working the disc. Only one handler for support in the backfield. That disc just died straight down to the turf. It was an open cut and good effort from the receiver. So St. John's with the zone. Nice throw through the cup there. Small gain, but got the disc centered. St. John's playing what looks like a flat. Well, now we have a mark coming in. It's a 4-person zone up front. Just depending on where the disc is, whether that 4th person's coming in. There we go, we have a turnover right in front of the end zone. So St. John's setting up their offense. Great awareness from the defender there, just got a hand on that to save the point. So Westwood punts it. Get about a 10-yard bonus out of that roll, so wind giving them a little help. St. John's going straight downfield, looking for the point right away. Complete. Great read from the receiver. Excellent throw that actually curled back against the wind into play. So SJR, with the wind, had to work for that point, but did put it on the board. So the wind is pretty brisk right now. So I think the question is going to be, who can get that all-important break So the wind blowing left to right on the screen, so SJR is going to be pulling into the wind currently. See if Westwood can utilize the wind. I suspect this is going to look like one of those games where the first break is going to win the game. So there's a good start for the Eagles. Maybe it's a little of that hometown support that was rolling in earlier. So we have a signal from Westwood. They're ready to receive the pull. The SJR puller making a good adjustment, coming over to this near sideline. Because we know the wind's going to take it across the field to the far sideline. That was something the teams this morning didn't adjust to. The pulls were ending up significantly into the adjacent field. So that's a good job from SJR. Pull gets about 5 or 7 yards past half. Westwood, upline cut, big layout. So the handler had truncated his cut up the line. Handler with the disc had already started his pivot to release. SJR, I was just about to say, a couple of passes upwind. Nice open cut there. Just couldn't quite complete the pass. Westwood walking it back to the line. Handler looks like he's surveying the field while he's walking it back. It's good, just finding the appropriate place to bring it in play. Upline cut. The disc was there for the taking. You can see the player just covering his head. He can't believe he missed that catch. It was a nice cut. If they keep doing that, they're going to connect and have positive results. You can see that disc going up and down. That's got about a 6 or 8 inch air bounce up and down. It's no wonder players are having a little difficulty making these catches. SJR has a player running. Given the strength of the wind, that would be ambitious to complete the 35 or 40 yard pass that he was looking for. You can see that disc turning over as they're trying to swing to this near sideline. So SJR working the disc. They're up just short of half right now. Doing a good job. Nice read on the defender. Westwood defender easily cut that off. Big layout, just missed getting a hand on that disc. You can see with this wind, the defenders are contesting everything. Downfield for the big gain. Open player in the end zone. Can't find them. St. John's defender did a good job recovering, getting the foot up to stop that quick point. So Westwood on the 2 yard line. Offense is set up. Overlapping cuts. Big layout D. Wonderful D. These guys aren't afraid to throw their body on the field, guys and girls. To be young and have quick recovery. So both teams really working to go downwind and score. Both of these teams are really digging in on the defensive end. High stall count, just getting rid of that disc. Got up high for that. Just dropped over the middle. Pass sails out the sideline. Someone with good hands on the sideline there making the catch. Looks like one of the coaches or assistant coaches. So Westwood tried the pass over the middle, didn't quite connect. St. John's with the interception. Lots of pivoting from the handler there. Turning his back upfield. Don't know if you want to be doing that too often. Good short shovel pass, reset the stall count. You can see Westwood has essentially a 4-person ring around the handler. So incomplete from St. John's, but still gained some field distance. Have to back that disc up a bit. I think it rolled out of play a few yards back from where it is now. There we go. So Westwood bullet pass over the middle, hit the receiver right in the palm, but it was a one-hand stretch to catch that. It's got to be a foul. Defender looked like he wanted to lay out for the D, just couldn't get around the offensive player. Looks like there's no harm to either player. Good sportsmanship there. No contest, obviously, from the D. Player flags it down. I think she might be out the sideline. That would have been an upwind point. That would have been absolutely massive in this game. Westwood maybe best served now just to do what they just did, punt that downfield and get the field position. So St. John's, nice gainer up the middle, quick return to the handler. Beautiful pass against the wind through the cup. St. John's moving it now. If they can score this upwind point, that changes the entire dynamic of this game. Just out of the receiver's reach. A couple secondary attempts at that, but couldn't reel it in. So Westwood, near their goal line again, puts up the deep pass. Was a receiver in the vicinity, so they are making a legitimate attempt at this. It's not simply just punting it down the field. Having said that, even if it is incomplete, I'm sure they don't mind. You can see a lot of these players, they go down to their knees. The throws are low as the wind is knocking them down, but they're going down to their knees and using their whole body to shield that disc just in case it gets through their hand. They have that opportunity to have it bank off of their chest, and they still have a chance to catch it. Nice throw through the cup again. St. John's moving the disc. Good catch there from the receiver. Looked like she may have pinned that against her ear just to secure the catch. Defender gets just a finger on that, enough to disrupt the receiver from making that catch. So Westwood, downfield. Receiver had a hand on it. Looked like it was knocked out of his hand, but he's not making a call. So we know this is a big game. We have Ultimate Canada organizing the medals that are on the line here. Bronze medals are in the house. One of these teams is going to come away with some hardware, bragging rights to take home to Winnipeg. St. John's still being very patient with the disc. It doesn't look like that four-person zone is disturbing them. Excellent defensive play from the Westwood defender. Went high to get that disc and just reached the arm over the offensive player, making sure no body contact. So St. John's has been doing a very good job playing these discs up against the wind. So Westwood doesn't punt it this time. They've swung the disc to the middle of the field to center it. They've got in cuts coming in. Couple of big fakes. There's the punt downfield. So they gained 80% of the field there. Well done. Cup is just getting down there now. It's a long run when you have to keep setting up the cup down there. Good track from the St. John's handler. That disc was floating. He did a good job to change shoulders that he was looking over and track that down. Both of these teams, handlers, are making great use of the fakes. When you're in a windy day and you have a cup staring you in the eye, you want to use those fakes. Get the cup moving. It's a nice sideline pass. Have the disc to midfield. You can see the handler's looking to go cross field through the cup. Tried going upfield. Good read from the defender. He's looking over, asking his coach what to do. They're at midfield. Is it too close to punt? Do they want to try and work it up? Looks like they're going to try and work it up now instead of the punt technique. Good shoulder fake. So Westwood not going to trap on the near sideline. Pays off. They were encouraging St. John's to swing over to the sideline, let the wind push the disc over and trap on the far side. So timeout's called. We have a nice picture sent in from Twitter from Matt in Winnipeg. Looks like there's some folks huddled around their laptop watching this game, just waiting for number 21 to come on the field. And one of the big penalties is I don't have the numbers with the rosters here because not all teams have numbers. Fortunate that these two teams do. I just don't have the rosters to match the numbers. But hopefully you have a little bit of patience, Matt, while you're waiting for your player to come on the field. These points look like they're going to be fairly long points. Even the teams going downwind, you'd think would be fairly quick hitting points. It seems like both teams have had to work to score on the downwind. So the Westwood players playing a little ninja game in the circle there. They're nice and loose and relaxed, enjoying their tournament. Not that the St. John's players aren't. They look like they're just having a chat amongst friends. Not quite playing games, but still enjoying their time. So St. John's is broken huddle. They're on the field. Westwood looks like they're just getting a team cheer in before they break. So they picked up possession just before half. They chose not to punt. They're walking it up. So now they are 19 yards out from the end zone. So they've done well to walk it up. See if they can continue their progress. As they get closer to the end zone, I have a feeling it's going to become quite a bit more compressed field and a more difficult task to get in the end zone. Nice one-handed grab on the slash cut from midfielder. Got the disc, almost center of the field. Open cut, just couldn't reel that in. So Westwood played that well. Got exactly what they wanted. So St. John's, crashing the cup, completed a short pass to the handler. Same thing again. If they have to do it 3 yards at a time, they'll keep doing it. Same play again. Just got caught in the wind, squeaking through the hands of the receiver. So Westwood gets the flat ball on the 11-yard line. No rush, letting their offense set up in the end zone. Vertical stack, angled vertical stack. Try and go wide across the field. Excellent grab. Receiver gets up high to reel that in. I think that was supposed to be a swing pass and just got caught in the wind. I don't think they'll complain in the end zone for the big grab. So 1-1. Both points downwind, to be expected. St. John's really did a good job going upwind on multiple possessions during the last point. I get the feeling they may be able to crack the code here and beat the wind. You can see teams, the temperatures here. The bench players going on are getting mobbed for their jackets by the players that are coming off the field. Everybody's trying to find what they can for fabric to cover up. Especially these players that are on the field. You know, you start to break a little sweat. Once you go stand on the sideline, that's just going to freeze right to you. And these sideline players with the longer points, they'd be well served to do a little jogging, parallel the play, at least keep their legs moving and muscles warm while they're waiting for their turn to get back on the field. So Westwood with the disc for the pull. Big gust of wind just came up. Great job on the pull. You can see that. You can see the player turn his wrist and try and cut that into the wind. Got it past half. So there was a pick called on a downfield cut, but the handler released anyway. So that's going to be Westwood disc at the front of the end zone once they retrieve it. That's still rolling. And it makes it all the way to the fence at the edge of the property. So unfortunate for St. John's, the continuation rule in effect there. Not all bad. Westwood does have to go the full length of the field now, so see if this pans out. So Westwood starting right on the cone. St. John's with the 3-person zone, more of your traditional cup. Big completion, yardage and centering the disc. So that zone is getting awfully close for St. John's. I think that might have been a double team. Good handler play, nice short passes. Gained another few yards. Go, just resetting the count, get that cup moving a little. So this is reminiscent of what St. John's did in their last possession, just a couple yards at a time. But again, that's the goal of that zone. You want these opponents to be passing the disc as much as possible. Sheer percentage says they're going to drop it. Just like that. More touches. Eventually it's going to hit the turf. It's an unfortunate drop. It was still an open swing pass. St. John's on the doorstep. Player wide open on the break side. The layout, one hand trying to make that catch. Might have a call. Nope, looks like there was a little bit of pointing or a small discussion, but no call made. And once again, that disc is still rolling. Even for such a low pass that was almost knocked down by the receiver. So St. John's compressing an awful lot of people down into that zone. Not a double team by any means, but they had an awful lot of players pretty close to that handler. So St. John's right at the front cone, high release into the end zone. Nice catch by the receiver. Two hands playing that one safe. St. John's 2-1 leaders over Westwood. Westwood still playing some great D, making them work hard downwind. So while we have a few minutes here as teams take the line, we have Bowmanville playing John Cabot, both out of Ontario. They'll be playing for the 5th place spot. We have Etobicoke Collegiate playing against Marshall McLuhan for 7th place. Marshall McLuhan had a great start to the tournament, upsetting the number 1 seed. Just couldn't maintain that momentum, but they can still take a 7th. And later on this afternoon, right after this game, we will have the Kelvin Clippers out of Manitoba playing against Innisdale out of Ontario for the championship. So that should set up your brackets for those that were keeping track at home. I'll try and update those results through the afternoon as we proceed through the championship rounds. So both teams on the line. We've got an Ed Kung sighting. He's out to take some more photos here. It's a good game to be taking some photos here. Looks like he's carrying a suitcase with him, so he's got a plethora of lenses, I'm guessing. Should get some good action shots through the tournament. And the pull is up. And a little roll back. Good job from St. John's to stop that roll before it came back any further. So Westwood not looking to punt. They're close enough to half. They're just looking to get some handler play. They have some different handlers on this time. They're digging into the bench. Big 4-person cup. Drop on the open swing pass. Looked like it might have jammed a finger. The young lady's holding her hand there as soon as it fell out. Another incompletion over the middle. It was a good throw. I think that was just misjudging the angle that the cutter was coming in at. So Westwood playing the 4-man cup, encouraging St. John's to continue passing over to the far sideline. Some question to whether that was actually released before it was Deed. It was a good job from the Westwood defender in the cup. He followed the cutter in. More than entitled to do that as the cutter goes through. So there's a call before that swing pass got through. That's the last thing Westwood wants to do, is let that swing come all the way through to this side of the field. They try it again. The throw is turfed. So Westwood, nice upline cut. Tried a little bit of a push pass there with no rotation. That's not going to go anywhere today. St. John's disc gets caught up in the wind. Westwood going for the big throw, complete downfield. 1 yard in front of the end zone. Finally get a count on. Lots of time for the handler to look around. Big layout. Just enough to throw off the receiver. Looks like that player may have just landed on the point of his hip. Seems to be working out a kink there. Disc back in play. So Westwood needs to tighten that cup up. They can't let these swing passes come back around to the open field just like that. The mark in the cup is biting on the fakes up the line, which shouldn't be doing. They have 3 other players in that cup taking away the upfield play. So St. John's up to half field. Westwood just picks up and throws the disc. Big completion, nice run. Timeout called. There was no support, and that would have had a quick count put on the handler as the defender was right there. So timeout called by Westwood. We're on a bye right now. There's no other games on the fields around that I can even look to give some results. We do have some Bloor Collegiate players down on the field next to us practicing their hammers. Maybe they're going to pull those out later on in their next game. So the Westwood coach giving some instruction to his on-field players. So both of these schools have had good storied histories throughout the high school championships. Storied histories being only 5 years we've had high school championships, but St. John's has won 2 championships, finished second in another. Westwood have qualified for 4 of all 5 Canadian championships. So they know what it takes to play in the tournament. Now they're in the upper echelons. They've been top 5 every time, but now they're challenging for a medal. So the timeout is over. The disc is on the 1 yard line with the receiver. Made the downfield strike. Vertical stack in the end zone. Handler loops around behind for the reset. High release into the end zone. Great concentration for the grab. Two offensive players going for the disc and a defender with their hands in there. Excellent concentration. So the game is now 2-2. Both teams taking advantage of the wind, scoring downfield. See if Westwood can generate a turnover and see how they fare going upwind. We've seen St. John's. They've been able to move upwind fairly well, just not quite punching in for a point. We'll see how Westwood handles it here. I'm confident that their defensive intensity, if they bring it like they have all tournament, they'll probably generate a turn. So both teams have made the adjustment to have the person pulling the disc coming over to this near sideline. Even this morning in some of those games, that adjustment wasn't made from some teams, so good adjustment. So St. John's signaling they're ready to receive. Westwood just organizing their defense here, I think, and signaling they're ready. Good low pull. Roll got an extra 8 or 10 yards. St. John's with the disc. They now have handlers in a full backfield of support. Wasn't the case earlier. Nice layout in the middle to secure that catch. Good tuck and roll. Don't let that disc hit the turf. It might pop out of your hands. Going for the end zone. Reels it in. So St. John's scores with the wind in a fairly quick manner. That's the first really quick downwind point today. Maybe I jinxed Westwood by saying if they brought their defensive intensity, they'd generate a turn. I'm sorry to all the Westwood fans. Maybe I'll just put the jinx on St. John's here. Let's see if they can generate a turn and continue their upwind marches. They've been doing fairly well thus far. I'd like to send a shout out to the mods staff out in Manitoba. We love you too. You guys are doing a good job with your junior development out there. Keep up the good work. So Westwood has some of their stronger handlers back out, making sure they control this disc and punch it into the end zone. St. John's, as was the case in some of their games earlier that I watched, and I assume all their games this weekend, have a heavy reliance on a core of their players. You can see player that's just about to pull. Sean Bennett, I believe is his name. I think he only came off for 2 points in the game I did yesterday, and I don't think he's come off yet during this game. He's been their primary handler with lots of touches on the disc, so heavy reliance on him to initiate play. So Westwood, nice short pass over the middle, good one-handed snare. Going for the end zone. Beautiful grab, in play. So Westwood makes quick work of it. I'm glad I passed my jinx onto both teams equally. So both of these teams may have figured out how to play the wind now, going downwind. Flags are still at full stretch, so the wind hasn't changed as far as intensity, but both teams seem to have made adjustments. It was a great sliding grab from the receiver on that play. Let's say good job dragging his feet, but I think his bottom was the first part to make contact, so if there's any concentration involved in that one, good job getting down to the turf in play. So Mod's sending out a tweet again, the Manitoba Disc Sport Organization out there, provincial body. It's nice to hear from you guys. It was good fun being out there for CUC in Winnipeg. With any luck, maybe we can be out there for another major event in 2018. And the pull is ready. Hopefully you get a roll on that. Great roll. It was a bit of a short pull when it contacted the turf, but roll got it up over half anyway. So even in the downwind direction, the zone is out. Generated a turnover there. Was expecting man-to-man from Westwood on that one with the wind being so strong for St. John's. So they pull out the zone. Maybe it confused St. John's just a little bit. Maybe they were expecting man as well. Hammer. Oh, almost a big one-handed grab as that thing was tailing over his head. Going for the end zone. That disc sails well out of play. So let's see how Westwood handles going upwind now. They've got their main handler, most consistent handler, picking up the disc, bringing it in play. Would expect no one else to go get it after watching them this weekend. The distinctive camouflage bucket hat on there. Hammer over the zone. It's complete. Nice grab. Low throw. There's the hammer upfield. So the zone is back out. Easy defense for Westwood on that throw. That's a good job from the St. John's player blocking that roll. If that got by him, that was going to be a number of yards. So quick swing, quick return pass. Little pop pass over the zone. And going for the end zone, wide open. Big grab. So St. John's puts another one on the board fairly quickly. A little bit of work for that one. It's always nice to see when you catch a goal, that receiver just ran right back to her handler, gave the handler a big hug. It's the way it should be for receivers. make sure you acknowledge the person that gave you that pass. Not to mention, we typically know handlers like to have the attention on them. But let's face it, for us receivers and cutters, if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be getting the disc. St. John's 4-3. We finally have a substitution here for St. John's, taking their prime handle off the field. So I guess 1 out of every 8 points he's entitled to have a rest. So Westwood ready to receive. St. John's player skipping over for the pull. It's good. These guys have a little bounce in their step after a chilly weekend out playing some Ultimate. So the disc got turned over, out of play around half field. So Westwood in a horizontal stack. 3 players on the near half of the field with 1 player on the far half of the field. There we go, spreading out a little more. Now we're on the typical 2-2. So now the horizontal stack, after about the 3rd cut, players were switching sides of the field. It became more of a vertical stack appearance down the field. 2 players laying out to try and save that swing pass. We have a call way back. Not sure what that call was, maybe a stall down. St. John's takes possession midfield. Didn't seem to be much of resistance from the Westwood players. That was a hard pass for a player so close. It's a good pass. It was a nice upfield cut, upline cut. Just a little hard on the pass. So St. John's takes possession here at midfield again. Nice completion. So Westwood punts it downfield, just out of the receiver's reach. So they gain the full distance of the field. St. John's is going to prove that they can play upwind. They're going to have to do it for the full field distance. So the throw goes out the sideline. Westwood bringing it in about 20 yards from the end zone. Handler in the backfield. Tries making the upline cut and gets shut down. Throw goes to the end zone. I think that was just a little too long for the center handler to decide to make that upfield cut. We have a call here. Pretty sure there was a bump on the handler. Disc space definitely not being respected in that case. So Westwood with the 4-man cup. Once again, we can't they can't afford to let a swing come across the field. So they force St. John's into a high floaty pass just to get it over that cup. Westwood did a good job by taking away the little crash into the cup. Small gain, so they had to throw that up in the air. So Westwood just on the offensive side of half, going for the end zone. Excellent D. And bad luck, deflects off the hand to the receiver. I guess that's the old catch your D's. It's more just bad luck. It looked like she had a full swing at it and was going to hit it out of play. So 4-4. This all Manitoba battle for bronze. So I see Calvin from Manitoba and Ryan, not sure where he's from, but both of them seem to like my comment about handler getting some love. So I'm guessing you guys are both handlers and don't get enough respect from your receivers when you throw them beautiful passes. Although I'm sure as handlers you'll say that you never get enough respect. Just in case everyone couldn't tell, I don't handle. Gotta poke a little fun at these guys. Both teams take the line. So Westwood signaling they're ready. St. John's ready. Low driving pull. A few yards short of half. So Westwood putting on the cup, still forcing to the far sideline. That disc was maybe a foot in play, but perfect time. Maybe they want to trap. Excellent concentration. That disc was up and down on the way over to the receiver. Beautiful throw through the cup. 2 chances at that catch. So Westwood at their own goal line throws a hammer. That's going to tail back toward the end zone. Good concentration to make that catch. Receiver knew it was going to tail off, overplayed it. So Westwood just about throws a Callahan there. Good job from the receiver to step forward and make sure he could get that. So Westwood in their end zone now. They've been backed up. That looked like just a quick punt to get out of the end zone. Handler didn't waste any time, just received that swing and got rid of it. St. John's working the disc well. Quick passes up the sideline. Good concentration. The cup collapsed when he went through. No double team on that. Just couldn't get the full D. Wide open at the back of the end zone. Someone forgot about their man on the win side at the back of the end zone. So 5-4 for St. John's. You can see some other teams in the bleachers just below here. It looks like they're starting to head underground to the warmer area. Maybe start their stretching and get ready for their next game. So our championship game will start at 2:30. Be immediately after this. Probably take a 5-minute break in between games. Both teams on the line. Wind has momentarily died down. This might be a time to get that pull up in the air. No, and it's back. So good roll on that. It's a good thing we don't have observers here. That looked like the puller was a good 2 yards over the goal line when he released, as well as 2 or 3 of his teammates ahead of him. That definitely would have been an offside call. In general, teams have been pretty good about that all weekend. That one might have been one of the more egregious ones at about 2 or 3 yards. So Westwood going for the end zone. They have an open strike. Got a mid on it while backpedaling, just couldn't reel it in. Great effort. So St. John's trying to quick play that, almost cost them. Got it up in the air. Four-player cup. Throw through the cup. That's going to tail out of bounds. So Westwood, I see a slight change. Their 4-person cup now includes one of their handlers, who is also the young man that just went for the strike downfield and almost reeled it in. So I'm not sure if they're going to let him use his foot speed and go downfield, or whether he's actually going to have to play cup and run back to handle. So disc is centered. Little hammer fake. And there he is. There's the catch. I think he dragged his toes. Stay in play. Yes, he did. Ties the game up at 5s. It was a great play. He's been handling all day, so now strike to the end zone. Team probably won't expect it. You can see in the background there's some warm-ups going on. I think that's Innisdale getting ready for their finals. They'll have to wait. There's still a long way to go in this game. 5-5. It's going to be a nail-biter right down to the end. Got roughly 15 to 20 minutes, I would think, in this time bracket. So if it keeps up the way it is, we're probably going to be looking at a 6-6 score at the time of the hard cap. Just looking at these nice bronze medals, some nice pieces of hardware that these kids are going to get to take home for winning this game. Be proud to display that on my wall at home. It's too bad they didn't have high school championships back when I was a youngster. Barely had automobiles and airplane travel. So St. John's walking the disc up to where it went out of play. "20 yards out from the end zone. Good gain over the middle. Beautiful throw. Low break throw. Quick point. The old 1-2. Throw it, get to the end zone. "6-5 St. John's. So Calvin from Winnipeg again chiming in with Masters problems. Yes, no high school play when we were younger. I'm not quite Grandmasters yet. I'm not going to say I'm quite that old, but, you know, my first medal might have been chiseled out of stone. And there's the pull. Very good pull. And some roll. Player couldn't quite knock it down. Good gain over the middle. There's back-to-back. Good chunk yardage gains over the middle. Westwood with some really nice flow here. Right up to the goal line. Great plays, some good cuts. Empty backfield. Going for the end zone, incomplete. So disc coming in play right on the front cone. Swing to the middle of the field. You can see that nice big 4-person cup. Good job stepping in front of the crash. The cup has done a much better job of that in the second half. They've really been cutting off those little 2- and 3-yard passes within the cup. There's a big downfield throw. Easy D. Big long arms of the law there, knocking it down. So Westwood, open over the middle again. They seem to be taking whatever they want in the middle of the field this possession, or this point. Reset. Everybody in the end zone. No backfield help for this handler. That's a full end zone. Beautiful read from the receiver. That's great touch from the handler to just float that over the first line of defense. 6-6 on the scoreboard. Time is running down. We are 10 minutes or so from horn. 5 minutes. Am I getting the 5-minute signal? Oh, 15. 15 minutes from horn. So these teams keep trading points. It was a much better string of play from Westwood on that one. That was 4 or 5 great middle of the field cuts. Commanding the middle of the field. Good passes right at the torso of the receiver. No chance with one-handed stabs. You know, out away from the body. Converted to a point. Let's see if they can keep that up. Both teams have been playing fairly well here in the second half of the time slot. Doing well. So St. John's just getting their last few extra bodies off the field. 7 on the line. Nice low driving pull. Goes out of play right at half, it looks like. Seems like half field or maybe 5 yards past half is kind of the standard pull going into this wind, whether it's a low driving pull like the one we just saw or whether it gets up in the air and has a touch of roll. So St. John's, middle of the field. That swing just sails. It's a nice casual swing. So Westwood going big, trying to go upfield. Knocked down by the defender. St. John's just punts it right back the other way. There is a receiver down there. Complete, just short of the end zone. He's got two receivers in the end zone. Big grab, they split the defender. He had to choose one. Good patience from the handler to see which way that defender went. And hit the point in the end zone. (7-6) for St. John's. So teams are going to come together. A little wave up to the broadcast booth from the Westwood players. So both coaches going to have a little talk with the players. Well, we have a few minutes while the players are talking and having their halftime. Just would like to touch on that subject. You know, as much as we joke for Masters problems, no high school ultimate when we were younger. The skill level of these kids that are now playing, granted this is the championships and you have some of the top teams, but overall just the young players and their skill level has come a long way in the last 20 years. You know, I've been playing for 20 and you didn't discover ultimate until university if you were lucky, or maybe after university. You know, these kids that are starting a lot younger, starting in phys ed classes in their late elementary schools or high schools. Some of the talent you see on the fields here at the championship be great at the club level. You know, I had the pleasure of providing commentary at the university championships, and some of the players in the finals there, they're 21 years old, 22 years old. You know, they're ready to lead a national team into battle. And I can see the future for some of these kids that I've been watching through the weekend here. You know, there's a couple of really gifted kids on each team for being 16, 17. They already have a good skill set, just need a little bit of polishing once they hit the adult leagues or university league, but the development of the game at the grassroots level has been fantastic over the last 20 years. So Westwood getting out and taking a line already, making it a quick halftime. They are down one, but they have the wind. Trying to maybe get St. John's to truncate their halftime, get them on the field a little bit quicker than they would normally be. St. John's just starting to head out. Nope, a few guys circle back in, maybe a team cheer before they go out. Still lots of time to get the play started. Have Westwood at least have their one attempt at tying. But I suspect we'll get another couple of points in. So just one other comment as I'm talking a little bit about the youngsters and their skill sets. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention a lot of the adults and even masters, you know, players that are coming back and coaching at high schools and coaching junior teams in their communities. You know, it's that transfer of knowledge with the young players that's really helping to develop the game. So it should be a big shout out and lots of kudos to all the people that go out and coach at the junior level. You know, I've seen a lot of people I used to play against and still play against now coaching this weekend, so well done to all the coaches out there that are giving back and helping develop the game. Both teams on the line, just waiting to get a disc off the field. Good roll, big gust of wind takes that back. 20 yards, 25 yards maybe. Huge gust of wind. So Westwood being gifted with some great field position. Handler juking in the backfield. They'll just take the middle of the upfield, same as they have the last couple of possessions. One handler back for support, otherwise a full end zone. They'll give and go. Disc takes a dive. So St. John's, if they're smart, they'd probably take a punt out of here. High release over that cup just is not going to work. So Westwood being very deliberate in their walk up to the disc, letting the offense set up. Had the open cut, just a straight slash to the sideline. That was just a pure speed cut. Outran his defender but couldn't quite connect. So the cup was on. Can't let that swing pass come around. The mark really has to be disciplined. You can stay on the back shoulder even. There's a big swing pass out of bounds at around the 3-yard line. So let's see what Westwood does here with their vertical stack. If they stay in the middle of the end zone or they flood one side. So hammer to the back of the end zone, wide open. Great read from the handler. The initial slash cut took 2 defenders. The back defender from the stack stepped forward to fill in. So the handler just hammered right to the back of the stack. A little dicey in the wind, but it was so open, could just feather that in. Seven. It's looking like it's going to be a barn burner. So while the teams are taking the line, just been informed that St. John's Ravenscourt School has won the Spirit Award. I believe they've won the Spirit Award one of the years they also won the national championship. Maybe 2 years ago, if I recall. 3 years ago. 2013. So well done. They win another Spirit Award, and if all goes well in the next 10 minutes or so, they're going to come out with a bronze medal to add to their trophy case. It's always nice when you can see a team that is successful on the field, both spirit and with their skill. Not always, but sometimes it feels like those items are mutually exclusive. So, way to go to St. John's. Excellent to hear that a high-skilled team is also winning the Spirit Award. So we have a timeout called. Next point could be the winning point. So Westwood needs to get something cooking upwind here. Teams are on the line. It's good. Both teams have some players on the far side of the field. They've got sideline support for both sides. They know what kind of a crucial point this is. Pull goes past half. So disc is in play on the near sideline. Going downfield. Disc lands in the end zone. We have a call back at the point of release. I'm going to take a guess that it's a foul. It looked like the handler's arm stopped pretty abruptly. So they're initiating play on the sideline again. Everyone just returning to their spots. It was a crowded handle position, so. Unleashes the disc downfield. Lands in the end zone at the near sideline. That's good. At least the disc came back in play, so they get the yardage out of it. That did somewhat loop out over the sideline. So Westwood has to go full field here if they want to do some damage upwind. 3-person zone. Westwood goes for the punt. No one attacks the disc. Both of the receivers run away and leave the SJR defender to take it. And he promptly pipes it out the back of the end zone by about 30 yards. See if that's a little gamesmanship or not. So the zone is set. 4-person zone here. Mark, 3 in the cup. Hammer upfield to about the brick mark. Westwood may want to let St. John's score so they can get down to the other end and start play with the wind to tie it up. If this goes to a long point, may be the end of the game as soon as this is scored. So Westwood, disc at the front of the end zone. Good tight mark. Can see that top of the cup there. Not afraid to throw their body in front of the big fake. They both launch in front of it, willing to take a disc to the body to get this win. So St. John's right at the front of the end zone. Stack in the middle of the end zone, one handler in the backfield. It's going up line. Good job from the defender to just fill that lane. Stall down call. And there's the point for SJR. Nice grab in the end zone. So 8-7. Westwood has their shot to tie it here. So hard cap has just hit, I'm being told. So technically this point has started, so Westwood will have their opportunity to tie it up and take this to Universe Point. Or St. John's will work this upfield for the dramatic upwind point to seal the game. It's high drama here in Oshawa. So big pull, gets it up over half. Westwood with a floater over the middle, incomplete. St. John's really has good field possession to try and score their one upwind point of the game. Good defense there, getting a paw in and knocking that down. Westwood's got 2 striking for the end zone. They're going to hit them. Backpedaling. Wind's going to carry that. Receivers basically need to run for the back line of the end zone. Everything's going to go right to the back of the end zone. So SJR moving the disc, doing well. Good fakes. That cup is moving around with all those fakes. A little trip going through there. Incidental contact, I think, with one of the members of the cup. Clear foul, I don't think they would contest that. Although having said that, if it's incidental foot tangling, that's the way it goes. Yep, looks like it's going back to the handler. I mean, there was clear contact. Going downfield, throw hooks out of play. Westwood, disc is back in play. Going for the big foot block. They know the downfield punt is coming. Good quick disc movement. Unfortunately just sails. Just a yard sale of bodies there. Everybody launching to get that disc. Swing to the near sideline. Going downfield. Can't see. Nope, turnover. One of the sideline spectators blocked me out there. Couldn't see if she made that catch on the second attempt. Another turn for St. John's. So Westwood is winning the field position battle just by putting the pressure on and forcing turnovers here. Into the end zone. Good D from the St. John's player. Just read that disc a little better and followed it right to the back line. Caught it just to make sure there was no chance of it being an offensive goal. SJR with the big gainer up the sideline. Can't capitalize here. Nice swing pass. Good controlled play. Bullet swing, great grab from the handler in the middle of the field. Little give and go. Oh, unfortunate drop after showing such good hands on the last bullet pass in the middle of the field. Going for the end zone. One-on-one matchup. Both players up for the disc, both down to the turf. It was a good play from the defender. He just held his ground so the offensive player couldn't back farther into the end zone for the read. Nice quick play. Need to get this disc moving quickly. Westwood's been doing a good job with their cup, as well as taking the crashers as they come into the cup. So you want to try and move this quickly and not let them set up. Right idea. Near side handler just didn't step forward that extra 2-3 yards to take the distance. Wide open in the middle. Westwood, 6 yards in front of the end zone. Big empty hand fake with the disc. Sails it over. Held the disc behind his back and used the empty hand fake with his dominant hand. So we can see the Kelvin Clippers from Manitoba and Innisdale Invaders from Ontario on the sidelines just waiting to start their championship game. Oh, almost a Callahan, just at the front of the end zone. So Westwood with the interception right on the goal line. Reset. They got their offense set up in the end zone. Throwing for the back corner, 2 receivers. Excellent read right at the back cone. Ties it up. So the bronze medal is going to be determined on universe point. So if Westwood wants to come away with a medal, they're going to really have to dig deep because they're going upwind for this point. So St. John's a couple of times today have really tried for the quick strike, whether it was a one-pass goal or whether it was a swing and a set up to that strike, but a couple of times they've hit the quick goal, so Westwood needs to be aware that they may be looking for that quick strike to win the medal. They'd be well served to put a nice, tall, wide wingspan person on the mark straight up, and try and take away those big downfield throws. See the coach with some last minute instruction. Looks like he's saying force to the away sideline, which makes sense. The wind will help you get it over there. Trap them on that sideline. Use the wind as an extra defender. So Westwood could use probably their best pull of the game right now. They want to make sure they put SJR in the worst field position possible. See if they can just rip this thing to the brick mark. Get a good roll. The disc turned over. Did get a roll. It stayed on the other side of half. So right on the sideline, going for the end zone. There's the attempt to win right through the defender and receiver's hands. Might have been a little tip by the defender there. So Westwood, they need to be patient, short passes, and work this up the field. SJR has had a good active zone. A little earlier they started putting a 4th person in on the offside, which was creeping in to act like a taxi depending on which side of the field the disc got to. You can see right now they have a 3-person zone and almost a poached defender just waiting on the swing pass here. And a hammer. Great read to save that as it was cutting back toward the end zone. Sideline trap. Reset the count. Nice cup crash there. Swing the disc. About 5 yards off the sideline currently. So they're getting all kinds of short passes. That disc does not come back in play. It went out at about the 2-yard line. St. John's going to be able to walk this all the way up to the doorstep. So one of the cutters coming out to talk to the handler. They must have a special play in the bag for this. So discs in play right at the cone. Big D. Was a player open at the far corner of the end zone. Looked like the handler had a line. Defender just playing possum in the middle of the end zone. So Westwood again in the middle. They're actually in their end zone here. Hate to lose it on a Callahan. It's good. The handler asking for the double team. Trying to work this near sideline. Just hooked out a play again. Did get upfield a little bit, maybe 7-8 yards. Yeah, about the 7-yard line. So, stack set up all on the far side of the end zone. This is either going to be a dead sprint slash across the end zone. No, they got the swing. Another swing to the far side. Wide open in the end zone. Missed the cutter. So St. John's not able to take advantage of that opportunity. So Westwood really taking their time out there. This disc should be back in play by now. Observers would only give you, I believe, 20 seconds for a distant disc, that far from the playing field. Not to mention the coach was talking to the player as he was walking out to get that disc. Alright, back in play. There, nice high release. Downfield, keeping it in play. At least getting the full effect of the distance on the punt. Big layout from the St. John's player. Tipped off her hands and she was able to recover for the layout grab. Going for the end zone. That's out the sideline. You can see the teams waiting for the championship game. Kelvin is now going for another jog. They had completed their warm-up. They've been standing for maybe 10 minutes, getting cold, so they're going out to warm up again, which is good. We'll get a quick start to the next game, hopefully. Innisdale, they're standing here watching this dramatic finish. Their players are going to have cold muscles, I think. They may want to go for another jog, so they're ready to play. So disc is back in play around the 6-yard line. Westwood punts it downfield. One receiver making a play on it, can't quite reel it in. St. John's just puts it right back down in the end zone. They're content to just keep putting it down there, waiting for a turnover at the goal line. So swing pass, hammer, cross field, nice positioning. Use the wind a little bit. It was well done. Released the pressure from the St. John's defense. So Westwood almost back to their goal line. They're starting to work forward again now. Hammer downfield. Good read by the receiver. Just tried the one-handed grab. Didn't work this time. So right at the center field line. Now St. John's going for the controlled play. Center the disc. They'd be well served to just keep possession and work it up. As I say that, straight to the end zone. Open player, but out the back of the end zone. So Westwood managed to work it up to half on the last possession. Let's see if they can have some more success. So disc coming into play. Another hammer up over midfield. Deflected down by St. John's. And there's the goal. St. John's with the win. 9-8. High drama in this bronze medal match. They had to work hard for that downwind point, but they get the win. So St. John's takes the bronze medal. They also take the Spirit Award. And they take some bragging rights against their fellow Winnipeg team that they can go home. Westwood shouldn't hang their heads. They put up a great fight. Made them work for that downwind point. So congratulations to St. John's Ravenscourt Eagles. Bronze medal here at the Canadian High School Championships. We went a little overtime, so we're going to sign off for about 10 minutes. Get the bronze medals around the necks of these players, and we'll be back in approximately 10 minutes to start the finals with Innisdale taking on the Kelvin Clippers. We'll hope you tune in.